Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Open Source Office. This is Tex. Once again, I'm the Open Source Program Manager here at Intersect, and I'm joined today by Sarah from Socius. Sarah, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing very well, very well. Thanks so much for taking some time to meet with me, to meet with us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So maybe, Sarah, you can give us a brief introduction about yourself and tell us some more about Socius here as well.
Sure. So my name is Sarah. I'm the founder of Socius, but I've been in the Cardano ecosystem since 2021, and I've been wearing quite a few different hats. So my company is Socius is a SPO, pool operator, and a DREP. And I myself, personally, I'm representing Cardano Japan Council, the Constitutional Committee seat. And I'm also a Cardano ambassador. And yeah, it's been quite a journey within the Cardano ecosystem. So I came into the ecosystem thanks to Charles Hoskinson's TED Talk. He filmed it 2014. And I think that was a turning point in my life where it was really inspiring to see someone who has that vision to use blockchain for social and environmental impact, especially banking the unbanked, document the undocumented, and really improving the systems, economic, political, social systems for people, especially in the global south, in emerging markets. So that's something I'm really passionate about. I was in the development humanitarian sector in the past. So before coming into the Cardano ecosystem, I worked for the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and International Committee of the Red Cross. So I worked in Iraq, in Bangladesh, Algeria, Lebanon, these different places, especially in the Middle East and North Africa. And I saw some things that blockchain can actually solve many of the problems in these regions. And I really thought that this is the future. And last year in December, I was honored to participate in the Constitutional Convention, and it was about exactly 10 years after the TED Talk, where Charles talked about the future will be decentralized, and we realized that dream together as a community to have this decentralized autonomous organization. We believe that Cardano is the biggest in terms of number, and also the most mature decentralized organization, autonomous organization in the world. And you are contributing to the Intersect. Intersect is coordinating and managing the coordination among different bodies in within this DAO. So yeah, it's been a great journey. So what is Socius? Socius is a decentralized ecosystem for change makers. So we have different products, and all of them are built on Cardano. So we have Socius Fund, which is complementing Catalyst, and it's a growth engine for the community. So basically, it's a grant and crowdfunding platform that distributes funding to different community members, community projects. And this, we use quadratic voting mechanism, and voting will happen on Cardano. The donations will be happening on Cardano blockchain. And we use Hyperledger Identis, which is the decentralized identity solution within Cardano, to make sure that there is no double voting. So we protect the platform against Sybil attacks in like wallet splitting and account splitting, so that we have one person, one account. So that's and you can stay anonymous and you can retain your privacy, but while proving that you are a human being without not a bot and without any duplication of accounts. So that's what we do through like zero knowledge proofs. feature of Hyperledger Identitas. And we have Socious Work platform, which connects purpose-driven talent with jobs, with impactful jobs. And for this, we also use Hyperledger Identitas for managing their job history and educational certificates and work certificates. This will be attached to their DIDs as verifiable credentials. So that's these are two main platforms that we operate, but we also have different events, especially annual event Tech for Impact Summit. We had the honor of having Charles Hoskinson speaking as a keynote speaker last year, and Charles also confirmed his attendance this year. And we have also CEO and president of Emergo coming, and representatives of Cardano Foundation and Intersect coming to the event, and hundreds of community projects joining in Tokyo in October. So if you're listening and if you haven't booked your tickets to Tokyo, the event is happening on the 7th of October. And basically, it's going to be one of the most important events for the Cardano community this year. And we would love to see you there. So that's about me and Socius in a nutshell. Yeah, do you have any questions?
Well, I definitely appreciate you sharing quite a bit about yourself. I've spoken to a number of builders, a number of projects so far as part of our Project Spotlight series, and definitely thank you for being candid and sharing the history. I think that's really, really important. And I would say in what we hear day to day, some of the experienced builders such as yourself are not always in the spotlight here. So I'm happy to bring that up. As far as Socius goes, it sounds like there's quite a bit for us to unpack and maybe not do all in this session here, but we'll try to touch on some key points and show where everyone can get involved if at all possible. So let's take a closer look maybe at how Socius contributes to the Cardano ecosystem overall. I know you mentioned a few things, zero knowledge proofs, decentralized identities. So tell us some more that way.
Sure. So I think one of the biggest contribution of Socius to the community is we are the main contributor to the Hyperledger Identitas ecosystem. So for those who have been here for a while, you might know this as Atala Prism. So it used to be called Atala Prism. And a while ago, they changed the name to Hyperledger Identitas. And now it's within the umbrella of Linux Foundation's Hyperledger. I think it's Foundation now. And but the maintainers and contributors, actual developers, are IOG members, paid by IOG full-time members contributing to the project. But also now it's open source and open to everyone. And that's how we've been building before it became open source. But now we are able to actually contribute to the source code of Hyperledger Identitas. And there's a small part that we also contributed, and it's been merged, and I hope people are benefiting from our contributions as well. And which the part is that we want to make this technology accessible to everyone. And even those without prior knowledge of blockchain technology or seed phrase management, etc. So so the current SDK for creating decentralized identity wallets are basically focused on seed phrase management. So like you have mnemonic and you have 24 words that you need to write it down. But people who don't have any experience with crypto wallets or like identity, like blockchain-based identity wallets, they don't have any experience with seed phrase, right? So what we did is that we made this single point of failure into two-factor authentication. So basically, we created recovery file, which is protected by passwords. So if hackers come into your computer and somehow, if you have a seed phrase, saved somewhere on your computer, it's gone and it's over. But if you have your file, but your password is in your head, then there's nothing they can do, the hackers can do with your recovery file, and vice versa. Like somehow they have your password, but if they don't have access to the recovery file, then they cannot do anything with your wallet. So that's something we contributed. So now everyone, so it's open source, everyone can actually create DID wallets using this. And they can choose if they're targeting primarily crypto blockchain enthusiasts, then go with seed phrase. I think they feel more comfortable. But if they're targeting more Web2 or more general public, then you can go with this two-factor authentication, like file management and password. Everyone is used to managing files in their Google Drive, iCloud, etc., and passwords. You have experience with password. So this is our contribution for the open source community, but also all of our code, like every single project is open source. And you can use it for commercial purposes. You can use it for any purpose you want. And we really want to, we are big on open source development, and that's how humanity will advance. And so we have talked about zero knowledge proofs and verifiable credential aspects. So why do we need these blockchain-based identity wallets and DIDs and verifiable credentials? So for us, we have two specific use cases. One is selective disclosure. The other is immutability or verifiability of credentials. And so in terms of the selective disclosure, so we work with alcohol seller in Japan. And their problem is that they need to check the customer's age before they can sell their products, right? And that's by law. They are obliged to do that. But imagine like you're selling beers and booze online, and customers, they have to scan their driver's license, which has all the information, all the sensitive information, and you have to send it. And then on the receiving end, all I need is that I want to know at least you're 20 years old, right? I don't need your name. I don't need your gender. I don't need your face, your profile picture. But because of this old legacy system, I have to receive it. And then I have to save it securely in my database, right? And if it leaks, then someone can pretend to be you, create a credit card, and their identity theft and fraud cases. So that's something we can solve with Hyperledger Identitas and our identity solution, because customers with this new solution, they can just share their age, but not exact age. It's basically a Boolean answer, yes or no, on true or false on whether you're 20 years old or not, right? So you're not sharing your name, your face, or anything else. You're just sharing that you are at least 20 years old, and you can buy alcohol. And on the receiving end, because I don't need to retain this sensitive information, I can relax on the information security because I don't have any sensitive information. They can actually save a lot on information security infrastructure. So that's what we're doing. Because of that zero knowledge proofs and selective disclosure element, it can actually apply to many different industries, not just alcohol, but we're thinking of extending that service to cigarettes, tobacco, and other types of restricted content and substances that can protect children. So you need to do that to protect minors. and we help them do that. But at the same time, it protects people's privacy and also helps the companies who need to retain sensitive information. So selective disclosure is going to be really important in the future. Still happening today, but I think in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, everyone will be using that technology to prove something that is something that you want to prove, but nothing else, right? So whether it's age or whether it's like you're part of a community or you're a citizen of a city, etc. So these things, you don't need other information, but you want to prove that, and we are able to provide that solution. So that's one part, selective disclosure. The other is the verifiability part of this technology. So because we're using the Cardano blockchain and immutable ledger, we can prove, while protecting privacy and everything, we can prove that certain information is not tampered or forged. So in the world, like, there are many resumes, and more than 50% of these resumes contain some kind of falsified information, right? And I'm sure you're not doing that. Like, the listeners are honest citizens, but there are people who try to get a new opportunity, get a new job, and they maybe exaggerate what they've done in the past, right? So what happens is that because if you work for a decent sized organization, you might have gone through the background check agencies like Hire Right or other services. It costs quite a lot of money per person to go through that background check, and it takes time, right? It could take up to 3 months. When I first applied for the UN and the Red Cross, the background checks was quite long. It took me about 3 months, and I had to, give all the information, all the workplaces that I had in the past, and all the schools that I went to, and then basically this Hire Right and other background check agencies, they call them or they send emails, or they have other means to check that whatever I said on my CV is correct, and there's no falsified information. So this is a long process, and there might be fraudulent cases as well, information, and we can solve that with Hyperledger Identitas. We can solve that with DIDs and verifiable credentials, because before it was like Hire Right, need to call everyone, but now if these certificates, educational certificates, the fact that you might went to, let's say, Harvard, and you want to prove that, right? And you don't need to call Harvard. You can just verify on chain that this educational certificate from Harvard is authentic, right? And you work for Google, and you have the same thing. You can verify on chain, so it will save their time. Instead of 3 months, it will be 1 minute. And instead of paying hundreds of dollars, maybe thousands of dollars to other background check agencies, it will be maybe $10. Maybe so for us, it's actually $1 per verification. So it's just $1 just to verify the authenticity of your certificates. So these are two use cases that could actually revolutionize how we interact with certificates. In the past and today, we're still using paper certificates. We're still using PDF certificates. But in the future, I'm sure that people will be using this technology, because it just it's no brainer. Like, it doesn't make sense to go back to paper and PDF.
You bet. Yeah. So everything you're describing here is absolutely revolutionary, and from the sounds of it as well, evolutionary at the same time, not to be confused or misconstrued. Without getting, let's say, super technical, I am curious about, I guess, just a couple of other pieces here. So if you can, maybe we can talk a little bit more about Hyperledger Identitas and its connection with Cardano and what that technical background looks like. And then also, want to take a look at, because you've provided some case studies here, what does the future look like other than the evolutionary items you described, and what's the documentation and resources for those that want to help the Socius movement, if you will?
Yeah, thank you. So in terms of the connection between Cardano and Hyperledger Identitas, so Metallic as it started, it was developed by IOG. So it's IOG's identity project. And identity in the DID and self-sovereign identity world, you have three entities, three roles within that. So without getting too technical, you have holder. So let's say it's university issuing educational certificate to their graduates, right? And the graduates will be the holder, and then university will be the issuer, and potential employers will be the verifier. So these are three entities in the triangle. And in this triangle, on the base layer, we have the Cardano blockchain as the verifiable data registry, VDR. And this is on-chain. It's the Cardano blockchain. And the issuer, in this case, university's DID, is published on-chain on the Cardano blockchain to verify that it's from a legit recognized entity. But in the self-sovereign identity world, everything else is off-chain. It happens peer-to-peer. So you first have that peer-to-peer connection, and then you share that credential with them, and then you can verify it, and you can do all sorts of things. So, but because the issuer DID is on chain, you can verify that when you receive as a verifier, so in this case, the potential employer, they can verify that, okay, this verifiable credential came from the known, legit, established entity in the university. And this verified credential is not tampered. So that makes it that it's authentic educational certificate issued by the legit organization. So that's how the verification works. And the connection is that, you know, the whole Hyperledger Identitas is built on Cardano, and there are some on-chain transactions, and the verifier actually reads the Cardano blockchain to verify that this is the correct identity, the correct verifiable credential. So that's the connection between Hyperledger Identitas and Cardano, and there are actually other ecosystems in the Ethereum ecosystems and other ecosystem. They have similar things, but they're using other blockchains for the VDR, verifiable data registry. And ideally, we can, and this is where we're going at the moment, is that the DIDs and verifiable credentials on Hyperledger Identitas, they are W3C standards compatible. So, and many other ecosystems, they use the same DIDs and VCs. That means they are potentially interoperable between other ecosystem VDRs. Yeah, so as long as you can read that VDR, then you issue certificates, like you received the certificate, and the issuer DID was published on the Cardano blockchain, but they go to another ecosystem, they can still get that verified in other ecosystem. I think there are some technical challenges with that, especially like reading the VDR, etc. But the actual DIDs and verifiable credentials, the specifications are compatible with the W3C standard. So in theory, this will be possible. So that's how the Cardano blockchain and Hyperledger identities are connected. And I think I forgot your second part of the question.
No, that's totally okay. I threw a lot at you. I'm going to change it up here for just a second. I am curious, real quick, on the VDR. Is that something that is currently worked as an integration with a number of various tools that people may be using with the need to verify, or is this something that's integrated within a wallet? Or something where there's like a single source, like you have to go here or you have to come back to the blockchain through this process to verify?
Yeah. So my understanding is that we use Cardano blockchain as the VDR, but the Cardano blockchain is open to everyone. So like if you want, you can build something very similar to Hyperledger Identitas and use Cardano as a VDR. So that's a possibility. And currently, I don't think there are other identity solutions besides Hyperledger Identitas using Cardano as the VDR. So I think currently the easiest way is to go to Hyperledger Identitas documentation, or we have Socius, our own documentation as well, and you can learn how to build wallets, identity wallets, and interact with that. So that is probably the easiest way to interact with identity solutions at the moment.
All right. And you kind of rolled right into that last question there. It deals with documentation and how to get involved. And I might specify that a little bit more of what type of involvement is Socius looking for with the community. So obviously there is some community engagement going on, such as the project spotlight here, the involvement in the Cardano budget. But where is it that Socius is, let's say, looking for additional contributors to come in and participate, and what's the best way for them to learn how to participate most efficiently?
Yeah, good question. So I think everyone can contribute to Socius in different ways. And for example, Socius Fund is a very open platform in the sense that similar to Catalyst, if you have a great idea, come propose. So we currently have round 1. We just completed our pilot round. In round 1, we have $500,000 up for grabs. And if you have a great project, and caveat is that kind of similar to Catalyst, we require all the projects to contribute back to the Cardano ecosystem. So if you have that criterion, you can apply for funding. It's up to $200,000, and you can apply and have your proposal. And after that, you can engage with the community members to get more votes. But if you don't have any ideas, but you can still vote and contribute. So as a supporter of the project, you can either vote without any donation, so you can just vote. And the more you vote and more you participate in the Socius ecosystem, your voting power will increase. So this is actually a mechanism to protect the platform from malicious attacks, like people buying votes. And because we count how many supporters who supported the project as voting power, and if you are able to buy votes, then that will not be sustainable. But if we have reputation score, so the older and the more contributions you've made in the past, you have more voting power. So like newcomers, like if you buy people who have no idea about Cardano or Socius, they try to come in, but they cannot influence the voting results. So that's why we have this reputation score. And you can't just come in and then vote without any donations, but you can also donate. And this happens, we recently integrated fiat currencies, but also we first had Cardano donations. So you can donate in ADA, USDM, JED, USDA, any tokens on Cardano, and like stable tokens and ADA on Cardano. And this will increase the chance of the projects to get funded from the matching pool. So that's another way to contribute. And we actually had about 60% of funding coming from the community. So in the pilot round, we basically donated $10,000 to the matching pool from Socius. And after the voting period was over, more than $6,000 came from the community donations. So we catalyzed this, basically like we use $10,000 as a catalytic funding, and then basically induced $6,000 to different projects, right? So that's something you can contribute: voting, and so first proposing as a proposer, and second is the voting and donating, and that's for Socius Fund. And as I mentioned, so we have Socius Work, and we have lots of jobs available on Socius Work, and it's not just by like our internal jobs, but our clients, our users' jobs. That if you are interested, you can apply to those jobs, and the more you have activities, like you volunteer for them for a few hours, or you work maybe 10 hours per week, or you work full time. It doesn't matter. So if you have those contributions, then you will increase your reputation score, and that will increase the voting power, etc. And you will also get tokens. So we have Socios tokens, our own native assets on Cardano, and we plan to publicly launch in October, right after the Tech for Impact Summit. And you can, definitely check out Socius Work platform to find some jobs. Or if you're looking for talent, you can list jobs as well. And you can interact. You can pay in ADA. You can pay in other stable tokens on Cardano. And these transactions are protected by smart contracts. These are Cardano smart contracts for escrow payment. So your payment is protected both for the sellers and buyers. So this is another way you can list jobs, or you can apply for jobs and work with collaborators. And I think for this year in October, we have a very important event, right? 7th of October. And we'll have loads of original Cardano community members. So Cardano started in Japan about 10 years ago. And most of these Cardano community members in Japan, it's too far away for them to go to Dubai, go to Berlin, go to different events that are happening outside of Japan. But same as last year, this event, because everyone is coming from all over the world to Japan, most of the Cardano community members in Japan will attend this event. So I think this is going to be, for the Japanese community, the most important event of the year, but also because so many projects are coming from all over the world to Japan, it's going to be very important for the rest of the the rest of the Cardano community as well. And I encourage everyone to attend and connect with everyone, and co-create and innovate with everyone. And we want to bridge gaps between Japanese community and the global community, bridge gaps between Cardano community and outside of the Cardano community. So that's our theme. Beyond Boundaries, Building 2050 Together is our theme this year. And instead of working with your old friends and like having that echo chamber effect, we want to actually go outside the Cardano ecosystem, and we want to let the world know how great Cardano is, and so many great solutions on Cardano, and impress them, and hopefully we can onboard new people, new companies to the Cardano ecosystem.
All right. Well, there's definitely a lot going on at Socius, and I do appreciate you taking some time to share that with us. A lot of different ways to get involved. So if you are looking for how to get involved in the Cardano ecosystem, or you just like what you heard here in this session, definitely reach out over to Socius. If you like what you heard here in the Project Spotlight, definitely give us a like, subscribe, or a follow. If there was something you didn't like or something you want to know more about, go ahead and drop us a comment. But Seira, we'll sign it off from here. I'll leave it to you if you have anything else that you want to say, but I do want to thank you again for your time.
Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate your time.
Awesome. Well, we'll close it off here for another Project Spotlight from the Open Source Office. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.